Hello everyone, and welcome back to another modifications video. We have a record-setting 12 decks on the stage today, including Blue Eyes, Rocket, Wicked Gods, Sacred Beasts, Odd Eyes Magicians, Volcanic, Shark, Galaxy Eyes, Salamangreat, Red Dragon Resonator, Beast Mode, and Fairies. So, without further ado, let's get right to the modifications. And I feel Blue Eyes will be the optimal place to start. The only main change here is in the extra deck. Or rather, the main deck. Having opted out Raigeki for Primite Drill Beam. My lone copy, of course. I appear to be lacking the rest of the Primite engine, but this should suffice. As for where that Raigeki ended up, turn your attention to Wicked Gods. And this deck's got quite a few new cards. First up, the aforementioned Raigeki. I also was able to find 2 more Sangins in my collection, so now this deck's running at 3. Next up, a little booster for those trap monsters, Pharaonic Advent. Works well with continuous traps. Harpy's Feather Duster for some back row removal. Then we got a couple power boosts from Maze of the Master, including the 2 copies of Angel Statue Azurune and 3 of Pulvis the Swamp Deities, as I had pulled 1 in some booster packs prior. We also have a new addition to the extra deck, an Unchained Abomination. I feel that will be a good segue over to Sacred Beasts, which got a complete Unchained makeover with a new Unchained engine. The extra deck also packs an Unchained Abomination, along with Unchained Soul of Rage and Berserker of the Tenyi. Effective for link climbing. Then the main deck has a mighty Unchained package. Including 1 copy of Escape, 1 copy of Abominable Chamber, an Abomination's Prison. Yes, this is an Unchained card. 1 Shavara, 1 Shyama, 3 copies of Sarama, and 1 each of Unchained Soul of Disaster and Abominable Unchained Soul. So this deck did get a massive overhaul, but not enough for a revamp, just an engine. with that, we'll move on to Galaxy Eyes, which also got a bit of a new engine. I decided to opt out of the Dragon Ruler engine and make this a full-on Galaxy Eyes Tachyon deck. So this deck will now be a full-fledged Galaxy Eyes build. And we'll start with the extra deck again, which has 3 new monsters. Number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon. Chaos number 107, Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon. And number 97, Dragluvion. As for the main deck, the first new addition, again from Maze of the Master, is Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal. And a card I actually pulled before the booster box opening. Again from booster packs, Schwarzschild Infinity Dragon. We also have a Tachyon Cloud Dragon, a Montage Dragon, a Rank Up Magic Variance Force. Yes, I know, Montage Dragon. Maybe a brick, but it still can be useful. Tachyon Spiral of Destruction. 3 copies of Tachyon Transmigration. And 1 each of Lore of the Tachyon Galaxy and Tachyon Spiral Galaxy. Given a lot of these Tachyon supports can work with Galaxy Eyes, the deck's made its point clear. The last deck to get a boost from Maze of the Master is Red Dragon Resonator, but it also got a couple new additions to the extra deck. I've opted out of those pests. I opted out of that pest. I once again moved the Belzius cards elsewhere, and I'm now packing Draco Berserker of the Tenyi and Vermilion Dragon Mech. Again, will be swapped out at a later date. As for what's new in the main deck, I opted for a consistency boost and a new... I've tripled up on Red Zone. Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? Oh. Oh, yeah. Tripled up on Red Zone. Figure 3 would give this deck a bit more search power and compatibility, and you know what I mean. As well as the long-awaited Earthbound Immortal Red Nova. This deck's consistency has definitely gotten an upgrade, as well as finally having my long-awaited copy of Red Nova. Sharks next. Only 1 new card makes its debut here. And it's Mobius the Frost Monarch. Yes, it can be revived off Xyz's Poseidon Splash. Similarly, the Volcanics also have a new monarch. The addition of the Stalos, the Firestorm monarch. He does burn damage, which fits the aesthetic. Moving on to Odd Eyes Magician, better known as Zark Pendulum, whichever way, it is a pendulum deck. This one has 2 new additions. I've once again tagged out Perform a Trapeze Magician, but not without reason. As the deck now runs Magicalized Fusion, and there's only one reason I would have this card in the deck. Quintet Magician. I've finally been able to put Quintet into my Pendulum deck, folks. Let's bounce over to Rocket next. And this deck also has a couple new additions. Mainly in the extra deck. Remember my Belzius package? Yeah, this is where it is. Thankfully, Rocket Racer is in fact, both Rocket Tracer and Rocket Synchron are Dark Tuners. So I got plenty of ways to summon Belzius. Inside this deck. Over to Salamangreat. And they have an extra deck exchange up as well. Gone is Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Now we have Splash Mage to make going into Decode Heat Soul a bit easier. And by a bit, I mean a lot easier. On to Beast Mode. With new additions to both the main and the extra. Our first new card is Heretical Phobos Kovos, an Illusion Xyz monster. And there's a reason for that. I've given this deck a Chimera-size makeover. This being the boss monster of the new Chimera package. Chimera the Illusion Beast. And the main deck actually has 6 new cards. For the Chimera engine, we have Mirror Sword Master, Cornfield Kotal, and Chimera Fusion. And I am staying by my one of each theming since this is a structure deck style deck. We also have Nightmare Magician. A pretty powerful illusion. As well as 2 new Beast Warriors. Exarion Universe and Chiron the Mage. Respectable 1800 beat sticks in their own right. Last but not least, we have the Fairy deck. With, again, both of its main and extra are getting a boost. First drop cards like one of the two Hecatrice and my Marshmallow Glasses. So now my Airy deck runs 3 Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn. And I threw in Wolf for good measure. I don't think it's all mini Lightsworn package that got added. Time Lord Progenitor Vortgate has been moved here for my Sacred Beasts. And although he's a Dark Fairy, he fits in since the deck does run Time Lords among its fairy mashup. Hope you enjoyed this massive deck specs modifications video. And I hope you stay tuned for the next deck specs vid to come. It might be a modifications vid, it might be a new deck. But either way, I'll see you guys next time.